we are closer to the persecution. We are talking and some people think we don't know what we are saying. We have seen things in the spirit. You will see what NYSC will become. They will cancel it, but it will become something. I'm giving you another one because of what I've seen in the spirit. So it's white they are wearing now. They will wear something in 8 years. Within the next 8 years, they will wear another thing.
May the Lord give you understanding.
16th of January, the year 2011. That was 10 days before I came to town. We closed in church, and I was into all kinds of businesses in Lagos that I had driven into the crowd. I was indebted, heavily indebted, and every attempt to liberate myself from that quagmire of debts landed me in more. We closed service, and one of my creditors wanted me to have a lunch with him. What he told me was that we were supposed to plan how to come out of the debts. So I went with my friend, just some of us know him. As we sat that day around Oregon in Lagos, it was 3 of us that were to have lunch, but it became 5 because the other 2 accompanied men were policemen. And I found out that it was actually not a lunch outing, it was an arrest, and I was arrested and was taken to the command center in Oba. When I came into the command center that night, you don't go with any tough things. Your socks off, your belt off, your shoes off, your wristwatches off. Anything that could become a weapon against an inmate or something to kill yourself was supposed to be taken off. But I found out that my socks was on even though they took my belt, and I felt I was going to stay behind the counter. But at about 7 p.m. they opened the cell, and I was the 16th inmate that night. It was a very small cell. There was only space for one person to sit on the mat, and every other person had to stand. Stay with my story. I came in tears, and as I stepped in, Akin, who was our cell captain that night, looked at me and said, "You can't come in here and cry, because when you came in, the angel assigned to your life came in with you." And so he stood up from the mat and said, "Because of what came in with you, you are the one that will sleep on this mat." The general, I'm going somewhere. The general disposition is that when you come into the cell, the last 2 guys that came will beat you as an induction, and you do the cleaning, you clean the toilet, you sweep the grounds. And as the last 2 were about to descend on me, Akin warned them because he was the longest serving inmate in that cell. That's how he became class captain. Everybody met him there. He said, "You will not touch this one. God sent you here for a reason, but you will prove what you are. That by 11 o'clock tomorrow, when they will likely be doing things, we know you won't stay here long. When you leave, this cell must be empty." So I had to put pressure on the unction within. We prayed and sang till like 3 a.m. and it was that night I found out that I had uncanny abilities to interpret dreams, because everybody's dream was interpreted. And at 10:30 the following morning, it was an empty cell that I left in that police station. I have some of their phone numbers, because these guys are street guys. They say, if you are in trouble in any part of the country, call us, we'll come and scatter the place. Some of them are saved now. I did not need to be another person, because a Christian is a Christian in a cell on the road. That's what I'm saying. What I've come to introduce to you is one life. The reason why we have to teach you that when you get to the place of work, you should represent the kingdom is because you don't know the kingdom. You think that there is a church life and there is a work life. That's not how the Christian is shaped. You know why Islam is eating up the world? Because a Muslim's allegiance to his religion is stronger than his allegiance to his nation of birth. He's more a Muslim than a Nigerian. You are first a Nigerian before you're a Christian. So you have the concept of a Yoruba Christian. This guy is first Yoruba before he's a Christian. A Muslim is first a Muslim. So he can burn down a house even though arson is criminal in our laws. He can kill a fellow Nigerian citizen on the grounds of his religion, even though he knows that murder is wrong in the Nigerian constitution, because as long as he pleases his God, to hell with your constitution. I was speaking to my wife's brother yesterday, and one of our other daughters who were in the house, of my journey. Maybe one day I'll come to Brothers Fellowship. Jide has invited me and tell you my journey. Because many of you came when Jesus had started giving me incentives. Where's Lamde? Is this how you started? Just like I celebrate my wife for marrying me. Where's Doyin? Is she in church? She's in children's church. I celebrate his wife. Ask your wife, when you had gone for youth service. When she was going for youth service, she came to my house. If Doyin said, I knelt down my knees and begged him, please, if you marry my son, if you will not marry him, tell him, don't break his heart. Ask her. I knelt 2 knees. You know why? I had looked at his life and my own. There was nothing colorful about it. And I knew that youth service may give her the opportunity to see brothers that have greater prospect. So I was begging, please, in tears. Say, I love this young man. Don't let him cry. Just tell us now that you are not coming back. You know, you know what they call youth service? NYSC has broken more relationships than anybody in this world. Okay, it has happened to you. You think the relationship was made in heaven, and then the sister arrives and sees that the guy she left behind is tongue talking, is a fireful brother, but his pocket is empty. Now she meets one that has fire and also has. So I had to beg, and she promised me that she will come back, and I'm grateful that she came back. My wife is here. I just went to visit her. She was counting business money and told me to do the maths of the goods that she just bought. When I finished doing the maths, I asked myself a question: is this person I'm going to marry? Because I didn't know how many months I was going to labor to have what she just brought in from Ali Express as goods. That if she has this money, I better go and find my level. You know, when you marry and it's your wife that brought the generator, that brought the TV, that your first experience with decoder in your house will be because your wife brought it. If God has not helped the heart of that woman, then you will not marry her. But she was willing to leave wealth and join this NFA. You know what NFA means? The good thing is, it's still NFA. He still doesn't have ambition. We can go into the beauty of holiness from the womb of the morning, but where Jesus has a problem is that he doesn't have volunteers. The army is largely a transactionary army. Men who came and are laboring with Jesus for what Jesus will give them. They have no consciousness of sacrifice. There is a death his army must die. So that they must die to things. I was going to say thank you this afternoon, my wife, when I came. Because I'm not buying the clothes I'm wearing. It's some people who feel you are not dressing well, so they've decided to be buying clothes. Abi? That's why I'm wearing what I'm wearing. I can bring out most of what I'm wearing is gifts. That no, you should look better, you should dress better. Tosin, you tackled somebody online one day. The guy called me a charlatan because I used to wear shirt and trousers to preach. My daughter fought the person. You remember? Was it last year? Say you cannot call him that, you cannot call him that. I said, that's what we have earned because we decided to stay where Jesus put us. They shall volunteer in the day of his battle. Redemption camp is fine. Awesome. Canaan land is fine. How many people have been to Mercy City before? My wife saw Mercy City when we went to Worry. And that's a prophet Jeremiah on Motor City. When you're about to enter Worry, that's the gate of Worry. When you stand beside, the beautiful buildings are inside. But the ones beside the road look like 5-star hotels, and there are flags of many nations. I don't know what those people are looking for, honestly. But you see the flags of their nations litter like that. All those rooms are in suit. You see their AC standing with them like a 5-star hotel. That's what you see beside the road. When you now enter, that's where the beautiful buildings are. So if it's a camp you want to use to immortalize yourself, you'll have failed. If it's large crusades you want to use to immortalize yourself, let people just gather, irrespective of what they take from you. You'll be fooling yourself. God is about filling gaps. Ezekiel chapter 22 verse 30. What I seek for is a man who will stand in the gap, because when a generation leaves and another one enters, what is left on the landscape is a gap, a hedge that is broken, because such men are hedges. You know what a hedge is? It's a wall. Territories are protected, territories are furnished with all kinds of resources because of one man's relationship with God. What God is looking for is another man who can come into that same shoes. And I begin to deal with the people the same way I dealt with them when that man left. That's what God is looking for. You can't be anointed into it. This anointing was a crowning for layers of, or years of consistent labor. That's why he fit in. I saw the picture of Dangote's yacht. I'm sure if you see that yacht, 80% of us will say, I can never be poor. Unfortunately, it's not captured in the reality of God for many of us. No matter the money that we say we have, that guy has been Africa's richest man for almost 15 years. He's still sitting on that throne and nobody is close to him with all the losses he's having. So we may not be able to compete financially. We'll have enough to do what we want to do. I downloaded a document yesterday. How many of us have heard of the details of the new Companies and Allied Matters Act? Last week we heard that whether you are doing business online or doing it offline, if you don't register with Corporate Affairs Commission, you'll be sued. So all the churches that said they will not register, they have been caught. Where's that our account? This our account currently now, we can only put money into it, we can't pull money out of it. The reason is because if it's a church account, EFCC needs to give us a certificate that we can withdraw our money. And I'm praying they do that early, because they know that pastors now use church accounts to launder money. So if you have 10 billion in your church account and a strange man goes to EFCC and says flag that account, once they flag their account, you don't have money again. No? And that's what it means. Now the new Company and Allied Matters Act has certain clauses that Papa Bishop Oyedepo is fight, and we need voices to fight it. It says that if the government, as the CSC, feels that the way you are spending money is not proper, or that there's something you are doing that the public is not excited with, or there's something that infringes on the government of the nation, they can come into your institution, your NGO, your church, or your mosque and change the members of the board of trustees. Yes, and the changing is not my problem, and put who they think should be there. So very soon, in 5 years, if Jesus does not show us mercy, you will see allergies on church boards. We found out that when the bill was passed in the Senate and in the House, that clause was not there. But by the time the president signed it a few days ago, the clause had been added secretly. Now it's law. So, if we continue church like this and we don't touch things in God, I said it 3 years ago, chase all the money that you want, build all the camps that you want, one decree will make you homeless. The one we were fighting a few months was the infectious diseases bill that said that any property could be converted in the event of a disease to an isolation center. And I said to people, it's us, we are the ones with big churches. Do you know how many people you can house in our big churches as isolation center? Do you know how many beds? Some of them will be like 2,000, 2,500 bedded hospitals. And it means once they convert it to an isolation center, services must stop. If they now hear that, okay, something happened there in that house, that's another part of their bill. Something happened in that house and somebody was infected. It will be tantamount to the fact that the building is infected. So they will pull down that building. It means you will build a church. Somebody will come and say, I have coronavirus. And you wake up the next morning, they say your building is infected, and then they ground it. There is a wisdom that we are colliding with, but the body of Christ does not really understand what we should come into. I close. I said in Benin that if you fellowship with the ancient mantle of Archbishop Benson Idahosa, you will find out that the last time any man stood in that mantle was the day Benson Idahosa died. If you have names, you can tell me. There is nobody that has touched that mantle. It's fresh. He respected, and I respect him. He has all my honor. Said he currently walks that mantle because, like Papa traveled all over the world, he travels also. It is because we do not understand what that mantle was. It was not a traveling mantle. Even people who have nothing to say can travel. Somebody said we build. If it comes to our mind, we can build it. That it was a faith mantle. It was not a faith mantle. It was a governmental mantle. Because you could not pass this kind of bills when Benson Idahosa was around. Church will have opened long ago because it will threaten the president. If you don't open on Sunday, then you will not open your eyes on Monday. It was a simple thing. That's how he ruled the country. That's how Muritala died. He came to Benin, saw them building the church close to the airport. I said, who is building this one here? That's the president. Pull it down in 3 days. And Benson Idahosa went on radio and said, I was a man of God before you became a president. It seems that I will still be man of God when you are no longer president. If your boys can't pull that building down in 3 days, then you will not be president in 7 days. He was assassinated before 7 days. That's a governmental mantle. Is there anybody in Nigeria? When we talk, what do they do? When Bishop Oyedepo reacted, the presidential aide insulted him. That thing is already law in Nigeria. If he's not comfortable, he should go and look for his own nation. Who talks to Bishop Oyedepo like that? Because that mantle is missing. Because none has risen in his room. Across the territories of southwest Nigeria, in the days of Moses Sorimolade, if he entered your town, he quenched witchcraft. Everybody, you either ran away, died, or stopped. When Babalola came, you either ran away, died, or stopped. But right now, we give them sides of the town. Cohabitation is allowed now. We do a treatise. That's what we do now. It means Babalola's mantle is fresh. It's not a praying mantle. It's a governmental mantle. That's what we were set for in the spirit, to be a government. Shut down things, bring things up. If you check in the spirit, Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 9 to about 11 captures the reality of the church in Nigeria. But for like 40 years, we have lived in a shadow of that thing. I said in the last session, I've heard it twice. Fathers saying, this thing will not happen in their lifetime. And God is telling me why they are saying that is because they knew they used to be influential. They are no longer influential. And it's a way to beckon on the Lord to shut down their lives, lest they be disgraced. You know why the disciples ran? Because they followed the master who was invincible. You could catch Jesus normally. This man raised dead men. This man opened the eyes of the blind. You could not threaten him successfully. So Judas marketed a product that could not be sold because he knew if they came to catch him, Jesus was strong. Suddenly, they saw them bind his hands and lead him away. Everybody took off. What I'm saying is you need to take only 4 or 5 men in this nation, jail them for a few days. Their denominations will be empty. Because people go there now because you think they are strong. We are closer to the persecution. We are talking and some people think we don't know what we are saying. We have seen things in the spirit. You will see what NYSC will become. They will cancel it, but it will become something. I'm giving you another one because of what I've seen in the spirit. Shades white they are wearing now. They will wear something in 8 years. Within the next 8 years, they will wear another thing. Their commandants will change and their protocols of operations will change. Stay alive and you will see what the enemy has planned. It was a 35-year agenda and it has matured. When you get home, click parastatals and check the list of men in the parastatals. You will find out that they are the sons of the bondwoman. It's a carefully orchestrated thing. And you think by going to school and getting a PhD or making money, you can find a way there. No. Even those amongst us who are highly rated occultists, they no longer represent the kingdom. We are under siege. That's why we need to be anointed. That's why we need to be anointed. They came to Moses. He said, some guys are prophesying there. Moses said, I wish that all the people of God are prophets. Because in this day, we all must be oracles. In your little area, you must be able to speak and kill something. That's Elijah mantle. They call it an intercessory mantle. No, it was a governmental mantle. And if you go, you must carry his spirit and his power. Don't just go for his spirit, take his power. Take his power. That was John the Baptist undoing. He spoke against government. That's what's happening in Nigeria. People have the spirit of prince in the house, but they don't have his power. So when they speak against government, they arrest them. The battle for territories, like I told you, has shifted into the battle for souls. And so he seeks an army of saviors. Men that are first sold out to him. Because you can't feature in that army if you are bound. And that's why we are laboring that every man should be free. You can't save if you are not saved. Are you with me? You'll be weak. So you have to unwind yourself. And when you survive that, you have to understand that it's not for gain. It's not for a name. I've preached this among many young ministers' conferences, and somebody will say, but sir, everybody knows you everywhere. It's not something I'm driving at. Where's Dami? I'm sorry I'm going this way this night. I just wanted to arrive home. The last revival wave that we had was shortly after the lockdown, and if you studied, you find out there was an outburst. There was like a vial of oil was poured on young people, but everybody was looking for a name. So see this program there, this program there, this program there, this program there. And then we had this surge of entrance into ministry titles. Everybody became a prophet, an evangelist, an apostle. Many people began to break out of ministries to start their own. Many of those ministries are gone now. Because men did not understand that when the war cry sounded, what he wants is a volunteer.
You've just listened to a kingdom truth meant to strengthen your faith and realign your walk with God. These messages are shared to preserve sound doctrine, deepen spiritual understanding, and raise believers who stand firm in truth. If this teaching blessed you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and let the light of God's word spread. Subscribe to Kingdom Updates TV for consistent, spirit-filled teachings, powerful prayers, and timely revelations for this generation. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss what God is saying in this season. Remain rooted, stay watchful, and keep growing in grace. Until next time, stay aligned with the kingdom.